dedicated to southern and eastern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Tonight we continue to follow some breaking news out of HARLAN County. Earlier today, officials found a bomb near the Everett's water plant. We sent WYMT's Justin Case down there. He just arrived at the scene moments ago and joins us live with what he's learned. Justin?
Steve, so I just got here, like you said a few minutes ago. You're going to look over this shoulder. You're going to see a yellow piece of tape right over there. Officials say that is where this homemade bomb was found. And just over this shoulder over here, you can barely see a fence. That's actually the sewer plant here in Everett's. Now, I'm told by officials, maintenance crews and maintenance managers, they say that it's actually less than 50 feet away from one of the main lines for the sewer plant. They say that if it would have gone off, that would have been catastrophic. It could have damaged a main line that goes to the sewer plant. Now, officials do worry that more of these homemade bombs could pop up in the area. Now, they are a little bit reluctant to share pictures of the actual bomb. They describe it as, it's almost like a soda can wrapped in black plastic, or black tape, excuse me, and it has a wick coming out of it. They don't want to share pictures at this time because they say there's a chance that, accurate descriptions of the bomb moving forward could help lead to an arrest. Now, we are told that it's actually the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives now taking over. Earlier today, it was Kentucky State Police, their explosive devices unit, that came out and destroyed the bomb. We are told they actually did not detonate it. They did not blow up the bomb. We are told that they dismantled it so that it was no longer an active bomb, so they could take it back and collect the evidence moving forward to hopefully lead to an arrest in the case. We'll have much more information on this coming up at 6. Steve?
All right, Justin, thank you. A delay in a HARLAN County murder trial. Jury selection was set to begin today in the case of Shelby Shell. Police say he killed former Everett's mayor Ronnie King in 2013. A grand jury indicted Shell on 8 charges, including murder, robbery, kidnapping, and tampering with evidence. A new trial date is not set. A woman is now in jail accused of causing a crash that killed 4 Kentuckians. That crash happened in 2016 in Texas. The Avalar family's van was hit from behind and pushed into the path of a semi. Israel Avalar and his 3 sons, Kevin, Daniel, and Matthew, all died in the crash. Court records show Brenda Kenner of Louisiana caused the crash. She's charged with 4 counts of negligent homicide.
Well, the cloud cover going to be the big story here across eastern Kentucky. Right now, some of us looking at partly cloudy skies, and then the bigger temperature is the colder temperatures working in. So let's take a look at Whitesburg. You'll notice partly cloudy skies to mostly cloudy now as that cold front continues to work through. A pretty quiet one, as you can see on the Mountain Parkway, the latest image showing not much activity there, and most of our rain off to the northeast. And like we talked about, this cloud cover working out ever so slowly. Mostly cloudy for some, should be clearing out for tonight. And the gusty winds continue with that wind advisory till 8 o'clock. That now goes for a good chunk of eastern Kentucky all the way up through the Mountain Parkway, with really the lake wind advisory for the Lake Cumberland area, which we will continue to monitor at this time. It's a wind advisory, and it's because of the wind speeds of 10 to 20 miles per hour, gusts of 30 plus certainly possible. And while temperatures are slowly tanking to the northwest, we'll see a bigger drop off as we head into tonight and these clouds begin to clear. We're at 61 in Hazard, 52 in Owensboro, but expect for the 40s and eventually the 30s to make a return. Steve will have a full look at that forecast and just a little bit of what you can expect for that weekend as well coming up in a few short minutes.
All right, Andrew, thank you. Well, today, as we've been talking about, looks like it will be the last warm one for a little while. But Holly Bay Marina employees say the high winds that have come with the warm weather today have kept them busy. WYMT's Hannah Reynolds explains.
The warmer temperatures have caused much windier days for local boaters taking advantage of the weather.
The water on the main walkway out here was splashing up over it, and you could see whitecaps out on the water.
Staff say they're used to seeing windy days, but the past two have been unusual.
Yesterday and today is a lot worse than it usually is. We had one boat come loose. We had to retie it. Most of the time the boats will just sit here and just drift a little bit.
The National Weather Service issued a lake wind advisory for Laurel County on Tuesday, saying gusts could get up to 35 miles per hour, putting marina employees on their toes as they protect the boats and their docks.
If the cables are loose, if the lakes went down and they all need tightened, it can be a half a day or a day project getting everything where it needs to be.
The advisory said that small boats could flip, but employees say they know many will be on the water for what looks like the last day for a while. But they still ask boaters to be extra cautious.
It's colder this time of year, so you always, especially in bad weather, want to have a life jacket on and then let someone know where you'll be in case you do have problems.
Watching out for high winds at the lake. In Laurel County, Hannah Reynolds, WYMT Mountain News.
And that lake wind advisory goes for Laurel County and a few others until 8 o'clock this evening. The president will make his first primetime Oval Office address tonight as the federal government reaches day 18 of the partial shutdown. The president is expected to make his case for why he needs more than $5 billion to fund a barrier at the southern border. Two rebuttals will follow President Trump's address. The first will come from House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. After that, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders will deliver an address. Live coverage will begin here on WYMT at 9 o'clock tonight. A former attorney for Senator Mitch McConnell says he plans to run for Attorney General. Republican Daniel J. Cameron filed a letter of intent with the Kentucky Registry of Election Finance. At this point, he'd face State Senator Whitney Westerfield in the May primary. Westerfield is running again after losing to current Attorney General Andy Beshear in 2015. Cameron currently works for a Louisville law firm. It's been a big day in Frankfort. Today at noon, lawmakers gavelled in for the 2019 General Assembly session. And while there were dozens of new faces, one seat in particular was the main topic of conversation. Hillary Thornton explains.
The 30-day session is underway in Frankfort. This first day is a day of a lot of procedures and ceremonies. Lawmakers taking the oath, dozens of them for the first time. The House of Representatives seeing 32 new faces.
I'm sure it's going to be baptism by fire. Everybody keeps telling us the best way to learn is to do.
Starting to sink in and feel real now. For the longest part, it just felt like a dream.
The leadership positions affirmed today, including House Speaker Representative David Osborne, officially elected to the post after filling in as acting speaker for much of last year.
And after swearing in all of the House members, they then discussed how exactly they were going to move forward in regards to the elections surrounding the 13th district seat.
Democrat Jim Glenn winning that race by 1 vote. However, the incumbent DJ Johnson challenging that, filing an official complaint claiming 6 people didn't sign voter rolls and that multiple absentee ballots were not counted. The majority party swearing in Glenn and allowing him to take his seat, however, then forming an election contest committee. That committee formed of 9 representatives whose names were drawn from a bucket, 6 Republicans and 3 Democrats. It is a process that the Democrats strongly oppose.
We should not allow politicians to decide the representation of who will represent the 13th district seat on this floor.
However, some Republicans argue it is the process and it's their duty to investigate since a complaint was filed.
Statute says that this chamber shall, y'all remember the shall may fight that all of us lawyers love to play? This one's a shall. It ain't an option. It is our duty.
Hillary Thornton, WYMT Mountain News.
The Election Contest Committee will hear testimony and gather evidence regarding the election and then present that to the full House. A Kentucky state trooper out of Post 13 in Perry County is going above and beyond to help kids in the community. James Sandlin goes to hospitals every weekend to bring coloring supplies to kids there. He also brings stuffed bears and KSP badges supplied to them to the hospitals. He says he gives them a chance to spend time putting smiles on both the kids and the hospital staff's faces.
When we come into a room like that, most time, people think it's a bad situation or bad news. And now when I go up there, I'm called the coloring trooper, because everybody at the hospital, the doctors and the nurses know I've always got coloring books and crayons and stickers with me.
Now, besides the bears and badges, the crayons and other coloring utensils you saw are all bought by Sandlin himself. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, super high resolution 8K TVs are on display in Las Vegas. We'll show you what you might be watching years down the road. And in your Money Watch report, a decision that could potentially save tens of thousands of jobs.
When you see